I am the gate, all who enter through me will be safe. I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. Those who came before me, thieves and robbers, I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. I am the shepherd, I am the good shepherd. I know mine and mine know me. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. I am the doorway through. I lay down my life and take it back again. I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. Will be saved. Oh, come through me, will be saved.
I was on stage with no pants on, and the audience, they were all clones of my old friend and business partner, Ted, and I was being forced at gunpoint to give the crowd a lecture in defense of crack whores. It's said that in the prostitution industry, nobody is considered of lower status than the crack whore. Because she doesn't work for money, she works for crack. I think that's an awful state. Somebody should stick up for these poor women and let them know that they're not the lowest. The lowest is the snack whore. The crack whore is doing it at least because she's in the grips of some tragic addiction, whereas the snack whore, she does it for little biscuits or crackers. It's barely even a reason. One of those little cheese pieces with the red wax around it.
I'm sorry, officer. But my dog won't stop humping people's legs.
Hello, Mrs. Torkelton? Could I speak to Mrs. Torkelton, please? She's eating her snot. Really? Could I speak to your mother, please? Oh, hello, Miss Torkelton. No, not at all. It's the most interesting part of the job, believe me. I'm just wondering if you could, wait a second, Miss Torkelton. I'll be right back.
Weren't you working on a fully illustrated novel about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Yeah, I'm back on it now. I'd be finished illustrating it already if it wasn't for this stupid job.
What stupid job?
Yeah, you're funny.
No, you're funny. And you're fired.
Don't worry, my living friend. I am a PC monster made from all races, politics, and religions. There is nothing offensive about me. Okay, I think I understand. You are afraid of me because I'm a man, right? You have nothing to fear. Look. Hey, come back. I just wanted to show you. You have nothing to fear. Michael, how's it going? Well, not too great, to tell you the truth. Oh, how come? I'm thinking about my father's dying soul. Well, you just tell him that Jesus will save his soul. He no longer has to worry about sin anymore if he accepts Jesus as his Lord and Savior. You think that's gonna do it? Absolutely. I told my own father that. He turned to Christ, and now he's in the kingdom of heaven, eating peeled grapes. That's all it took. That's all. Did you tell him that Jesus will forgive all of his sins? It's not that. That's not what makes me worry about his soul. It's not so much about Jesus, it's just, well, he won't stop putting curses on people. Well, you have to tell him that if he accepts Jesus into his soul... No, that's not gonna work. It's funny to him. He said there's no hell, that it was just invented to control the peasants. He said Jesus was a space alien that fooled everyone. For a joke. But that's not even funny. How could that be a joke?
All the children of 1930, they all wanna see me get dirty.
We've been waiting, all been waiting, so long. Waiting, so long. Waiting so long. There'll always be a great big hole in my heart if I don't get a see Betty's boobs, Betty's boobs,
And then if I got to see Betty's boobs, and maybe, just maybe, I would get to see Marianne from Gilligan's Island's boobies, I'd feel so much better when I get to the other side.
Kitty, we can't hear you.
I got no audio.
I was muted. How fun was that? I'm super nervous because I have all these awesome, handsome dudes sitting here watching me. Hey, you guys, it's a regular chaos, creative chaos. That's what we're doing, but with a twist. We've got a panel tonight. It's kind of a party stream because I've got big news for Flip City, but for anybody that has not been to Creative Chaos before, usually I will bring on one guest, and it's a fascinating person creating fantastic things outside the mainstream. But tonight I have got a bunch of fascinating people to spin a wheel of conspiracy. So we're going to have some fun with that a little bit later. Everybody's going to chill, be a little bit quiet while I do the big Flip City plug. And before I do that, I just got to welcome George Washington X and Vulcan Lives over on YouTube, and Spazzo Yeti popping in, gifting the can over on Pill. Thank you so much for that. And I also have to thank the opening cartoons. They were done by Michael M. Nutsilica Renaissance, and you can find a link to his YouTube channel in the description of the video. Go check him out. He's got a lot more tunes over there, and we really appreciate him. And he's also a Flip City contributor. All right, on to Creative Chaos being sponsored by Flip City Magazine. We've got some news tonight. First of all, we got our print edition in and out. So that means this has been mailed out to our subscribers. If you haven't received it already, you should get it in your mailbox any day. If you are not subscribed or don't have this really awesome wraparound cover for volume 21, you can do that at flipcitymag.com. Or if you don't even know what we are at all, you can go to flipcitymag.com and click through to a free magazine. Check us out. If you laugh your ass off, which I pretty much guarantee you will, go in and buy a magazine. We could really use your support. We are a 100% self-owned independent publication that is totally uncensored and hilarious. So that's flipcitymag.com. Now on to the big news, something I'm super excited about this week. We had a meeting with Diamond Distribution this afternoon and found out we have been accepted into their catalog, which means
I'm sorry. Yay.
What?
No, I said yay, yay, yay.
Oh,
yay.
oh yeah, and at this point, everybody on the panel can yell and cheer and scream for Flip City and give me claps and Attagirl.
Holy congratulations!
Yeah, so we're going to be in brick and mortars probably in the new year, because the first appearance in the Diamond catalog for pre-orders will be November. So you're going to start seeing us in comic book shops. A few starting off with, we're managing our expectations, and then hopefully going super nationwide and exploding. So I'm looking forward to partnering with Diamond and getting in the bricks and mortars and having people see our stuff on shelves. That is super awesome news, and also a super win for uncensored, uncancelable print media, I think. So yay for Flip City. Everybody can cheer for me now again.
Congrats, that's huge.
All right. So tonight, I also needed to just say hello and welcome back real quick to my sidekick, Batman. Just tell everybody you're okay and your voice works, brother. No? Okay, he said he had an air conditioning man there, or he forgot to unmute like I did at the beginning. Batman.
I'm
Batman.
sorry. Here I am. Here I
There you
am.
are.
Here I am. Yay! Sorry. Yes, I'm dealing with my my air conditioner, which has been out for 2 weeks now since I came back from my neck surgery. Which, can you see the scar?
Oh, that's lovely.
Jeez, savage.
Yeah. So they went in through my neck, and the collar that I'm supposed to be wearing is really a pain in the neck. It's not even comfortable. It's supposed to, help you relax, but I feel like I have to keep my shoulders up in that stupid thing. So I feel like my shoulders are in my ears most of the time. But anyway, I digress. We're here to have fun tonight. We're going to have a blast. I understand we have a large panel of previous guests, friends of ours, who have come back to have a little fun, do a little chit chat, and get into some conspiracy corner, huh?
Yeah, it's basically a conspiracy corner all night. And I got to say that over on YouTube, Media Bear has checked in. Media Bear, if you want to pop in, you have the link. So anytime, if you want to spin the wheel of conspiracy, do it. And then also Ben Sullivan, our lead parody artist, said what is up in chat as well.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. So now we heard that the air conditioner man's name is Bill. And of course, before we head into Conspiracy Corner and spin that wheel of chaos, please, if you like creative chaos, like, share, and subscribe. Help us build those audience members. I think I might be 3 away from 1,700 over on YouTube. I want to build that as high as possible so we get as depressed as possible when they take it all away for saying whatever the hell we want.
No.
They wouldn't do that.
No.
No. And they definitely don't shadow ban. All right. So tonight's Creative Chaos is a free-for-all, and it's composed of former guests spanning the full spectrum of conspiracy theorists, from novices, which I would consider myself compared to some. I'm referencing you, Paranoid American.
I will go toe for toe with anyone here.
I bet you
I'll
can.
throw down the gauntlet.
And we're going all the way up to the experts, including those insane people that move to distant lands to investigate human trafficking and then write entire series of novels about such topics, like the always dapper Alex Farrar. So here's our panel. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
everybody.
Hey, guys.
All right. So just to get on to Conspiracy Corner, I want to get into Conspiracy Corner, and I'm going to tell you guys the rules of the game tonight. So, Cause, can we get into the corner? Oh, put your tinfoil hats on.
I want to live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't aliens. And thank you so much to Dr. Clown for providing that song for my awesome Conspiracy Corner stinger. All right. So I'm super excited to test out the shiny new wheel of conspiracy with you all. And if you've got your hats, you got them on. Very good. We need all the protection we can get. And so here's the rules. Basically, I really want to give each of you a little bit of time. We're not going to take all night, plug in our stuff. All right. That's for other creative chaoses. But I do want to give you a little bit of time to chill. And we're going to be a little bit of organized chaos. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go around and I'm going to pick somebody to spin the wheel. And that will be our topic of conversation. But before we spin the wheel, you will have a tiny sliver of time to plug your stuff, tell people who you are. Please do not, go on and on. I don't think I have major talkers and super egotistical people here. So, yeah. So, okay. So that's how we're starting each round, is that way. And the person, after you plug yourself, we're going to spin the wheel of conspiracy, and that's going to be the topic of conversation. You're going to start speaking on that topic, but then it becomes a free-for-all for the entire panel to give their 2 cents, or politely or even aggressively argue. I'm okay with chaos. Name calling is absolutely permissible. This is not a safe space. All I ask is to please be creative and hilarious with the names you choose to call someone. The one side rule is if you don't like the topic, you can spin 2 more times. With the third spin, whatever it is, that's your topic. Everybody get it?
Got it.
All right, cool. And I would like to, hey, Cause, is there any way to, like, I don't know if you have this prepped, is there any way to share the screen with any given person when they're pitching or plugging?
I mean,
like to, so I want to start with Lee. Is there any way to like isolate him and bring him up, or is it just the whole panel in this screen?
I can do that.
If you can. Anyway, I want you to start off, Lee, because you are.
Oops, you're not seeing it. Hang on. Let me jump
Put
back.
his face right in the middle.
Now you're seeing it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
That's not me.
That what you wanted?
That is Lee.
I'm on the screen now. Oh yeah, I'm on the screen. Okay.
Oh, did you pin Cosmic Grandpa's screen?
Oh, is that what I meant to do?
Yes.
So what do I
then
do?
You'll see
pin.
everything that's going out live.
Right. Okay.
All
well,
right.
so quick plug. Oh, okay. So anyway, it all started about 41 years ago in Shotley Bridge Hospital. Now, basically, I make videos on YouTube called Shot Hot Design, all one word. When you search for it, you'll probably just get Shot Design or Hot Design. Go for Shot Hot Design, all one word. You'll find me videos. And everything else is on leesimpsonart.com. That's it.
All right. And that is Shot Hot Design for all the Americans that speak more slowly.
Yeah.
All right, Lee, are you ready to spin the wheel?
Sure am. Let's do it.
All right. You want to take this topic or spin again?
I'll spin again.
All right.
That's kind of the same thing. You know what? I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go for the third one. I'm a bit of a gambler.
Okay, you're stuck with it, whatever the third one is.
Let's do it.
Also, you can make shit up. If you don't,
Huh. All right.
All
Fair
right.
enough.
You're stuck with medical establishment, natural versus natural remedies.
Well,
what do you know about it?
Yeah, well, it seems quite obvious that everything's done to make money these days, especially Big Pharma. Basically, I think there's absolutely cures in the world. They're probably natural. I've heard a very compelling conspiracy theory that the whole viral thing is actually a conspiracy theory, and people just get ill. Like there's no passing anything. We just get ill and our body flushes things out. And that's really what all the illnesses are. So everything is like a placebo. Everything's a sugar pill or a flour pill. And we all just fall for it. And we just pour endless money into this thing that never actually stops. Our bodies never stop flushing things out. So that's what I know about that conspiracy theory.
I had never heard the theory about pharma being placebos. But what else? Anybody else?
I have not taken pretty much anything Big Pharma in over a decade. My only medication is weed. Fixes every fucking ailment I got, whether it's mental or physical. Ain't tripping. Ain't never caught no COVID and none of that shit. Didn't take no tests. Didn't take no jab. Nothing. 61 years old. I can still run with the grandkids. I can still roller skate. I can still do all the shit that I used to do, and I test myself regularly. Live well, people. Just live well. You don't need Big Pharma. Those commercials, when they started showing those commercials in the middle of the night, people, and it said, if you took some of this,
you
got this, you can get some money. And I went, okay, now look, then they started like showing you the side effects, and every single thing that they're talking about, one of those side effects is possibly death.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like,
almost all of them are.
and the thing you can do to cover up all those side effects is you can just call it a monkeypox epidemic, and everybody will believe it because it's in the news
I don't
now.
believe in that shit either. I didn't buy COVID from the get.
No. I think you're in safe company.
I even told my son they were going to be pulling his kids out of school 2 months before it happened. I saw it all coming. RJ, you know, I saw all that shit coming, bro.
I think a lot of us saw it coming, actually.
The drug advertisements don't tell you the side effects. First of all, they say, don't take if you're allergic to this. I'm like, there's only one way to find out if you're allergic to this. Take it.
I couldn't believe my ears. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I don't even tell you what the things is like. Ask your doctor if AstraZeneca is right for you. Well, I don't know. Maybe I better call my doctor up and find out if AstraZeneca is right for me. And he's like, do you have a hernia? Well, no. Well, then you don't need it. Well, they didn't say it was hernia medication. They just said ask if the blue pill was the thing I needed to have. It looked good.
All right, Alex, you were politely raising your hand. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't believe my ears one day when I was, when you're watching something on the telly and then all of a sudden a commercial comes on and it's a very cheerful feminine voice talking about Valtrex for herpes. And then it starts listing the side effects. And the damnedest thing I ever heard in my life was fatal events have occurred. Ask your doctor. Oh, back the fuck up. Wait a second.
I don't even need to ask him, do I? I ain't taking this.
So that's the new way to say people have died from taking this. Fatal events have occurred.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
One of the regular things that was happening during the COVID thing is that people were coming up with a lot of their own homemade medications. They were discovering like anti-parasitic drugs, and there was a big panic when they were talking about anti-parasitic drugs because there's a theory that we're filled with parasites and we don't really need to eat every day. But basically, they've convinced us to eat every day to feed these parasites with like salt and sugar and fat. And that's why our old religious books all fasted, because fasting kills the parasites inside us. And that's why they were talking about banning ivermectin, because if people take it, it kills the parasites. And then maybe we'll be able to think for ourselves again.
Well, I don't know about the part about not being able to think for yourself, but a lot of people do have. All right, so I got parasites 8 or 9 years ago, right? And it was horrible. The problem is a lot of people think that washing food is getting it wet, especially things like strawberries. Strawberries have all of those seeds all over their skin, and the pockets that contain those seeds are great places for entire civilizations of parasites to hide in. And so people think that if you just hold it under the faucet for a little bit, that'll wash them off, but absolutely not.
Nope.
I can tell you if you'd like to know. But so I got parasites for like the 5th time. And in the
what did you get?
I got a host of things. I got a bunch of different things.
I would just stop eating strawberries.
Well, that was one of the biggest problems was when I went to get tested, they found the first one and stopped looking. They said, oh, you got this. So I took a medicine specific for that. Un gusto verles. Hasta feliz noche. Que les vayan bien. Sorry about that. So I took the medicine specific for killing that one, and I stayed sick. And I went back to the clinic and gave another sample. And said, oh, well, you also have this. Well, what the? And so I took another medicine for that. It turned out I had 5 or 6 different freaking parasites, but instead of giving me one ring to rule them all, or one pill to kill them all, they gave me all these different pills that destroyed my gastrointestinal tract. And then I was sick for 7 freaking years because the cure is worse than the disease.
Damn. That sounds like you could do with a fast. A good old 2 or 3 days.
A fast won't cure. A fast will not cure it, though. I don't want to run on too long, but I just want to say real quick that in the United States, doctors do not tell you that you have parasites. They tell you that you have irritable bowel syndrome, and then they sell you a myriad of different pills that will treat And that
Yes.
way they keep you a client forever.
Yes.
A lot of people, they have all these exotic diseases, but they don't really. They have one condition, and it's parasites. If they were to kill that one, then all of their problems will be solved just like that. But it's not really great for the economy.
You know, I totally believe that, and I actually think that certain foods that we're tricked into eating actually feed the parasite. I think I saw fluoride in the water appear on the thing, but I know I'm just going to mention it here. I think fluoride in the tap water might be something that feeds the parasites, because like people talk about when certain rats have parasites and they act suicidally, or they just act differently. You know, maybe it's like that with us. You know, maybe there is a parasite.
I think that the fluoride helps feed the mind parasite, which is the exact same analogy. If you we're talking about kind of like your physical body, but it's the exact same thing with the mental. If you look at the DSM, that's supposed to index like every sort of like mental deficiency that we've got. But if you look into it, all it does is describes the behaviors, and not nowhere in the DSM does it actually say, and here's the source of all the problems. It just says, here's like a set of patterns, and if someone exhibits those patterns and they fit into this category, and those categories exist exclusively so that the insurance has like a number that they can assign all the different little things to, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same premise that if all you're doing is ever describing a pattern of behaviors, you can't really fix a problem if all you do is describe the behavior that you're trying to. It's like an NLP kind of thing. Like if you only focus on the negative aspect, you just keep doing that thing because it's what you're focused on. But you've got all these great sort of therapists and specialists and drugs and everything, so that once you have your DSM category number, you can use that thing like Willy Wonka's ticket to get into all kinds of weird factories and do crazy things with your body.
Wow. Hey, anybody want to close this topic out? Because I would like to move on to the next. Go ahead, Alex.
Okay, I got one more thing, but go ahead, Alex.
Well, I just have a quick thing. I don't want to go down on a rabbit hole here, but ever since I got parasites and I did a deep dive into a study of them, and I found out all kinds of interesting things. Like, let's say you have rabies. How is rabies spread? Through biting, right? It's spread through saliva. So something or somebody that has rabies has an urge to bite so that they can then spread the condition, right? And there are certain parasites that infect fish. And in order to mature into adulthood, they have to pass through the digestive tract of a bird. But how the hell is a fish parasite going to go through a bird? It makes the fish want to be around light. So this fish leaves the darkness of the deep and goes up towards the surface where it is easy prey for seagulls. Seagull catches it, eats it, it goes through its digestive tract, and then it matures into an adult and falls out in the gull's poop.
God damn.
Wow.
That sounds like an alien life form to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a very, very common life form that in the US you don't hear very much about because it doesn't fit with the IBS narrative. So what I'm getting at, I just heard the damnedest freaking thing. A gentleman that said that he was gay ever since he hit early adolescence, right? He was straight until he hit puberty. Then he became gay, and then he took an anti-parasite medication, and all of a sudden he wasn't attracted to men anymore. Mm-hmm. And what they're suggesting is, now I'm not saying this, disclaimer. Insert a disclaimer later. What he's suggesting is that the parasite that he had was spread through anal contact, and it made him want to expose other people to it in order to spread the parasite. And once he was cured of it, he was no longer interested in that anymore.
God damn.
I'm not saying that that's the cause. I'm just saying that I listened to a guy that said that.
It's like 20 years later, but with the other liquid.
I did want to throw one thing out there because I'm going through a medical procedure right now. I have a hiatal hernia. I'm going to the doctor and having tests, and they're going to do surgery soon. But doctors will listen to you if you tell them, I don't take big pharma. They have not tried to push anything on me since I told them I'm not interested. Fix the problem. I'll be fine. My body will do what it's supposed to do. It'll heal by itself. You know, just fix the problem. Go in there and sew up that hernia so that my stomach ain't jumping up into my chest cavity anymore. You know, it's my diaphragm that's blown out. They got to go sew it up. Okay, go sew it up. No, I don't need no medications. I don't need no crap. Go fix the problem. And
That's the parasite talking.
That's me, man. I don't take nothing.
Someone get this guy some fluoride. Stat.
We live out in the boonies. We have a well.
You know, it responds real well to antiparasitics.
We got real water.
Because it actually behaves like a parasite. But if you start saying, hey, that looks like a parasite, you might be crazy. Cancer.
Ooh. Damn.
Finding a lot of studies where antiparasitics are being tried against cancer, and they're like, oh yeah, we antiparasitics have always said that cancer looks like a parasite. Why haven't you caught up?
Something else, if you don't mind. I was hearing about this doctor in Italy that said he was curing cancer with baking soda. That's an old joke. Baking soda cures everything. What is it, Sybil? But I was recently talking to a friend of mine who's a retired jackal and is now a farmer. Are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. Sorry. Again, this is absolutely not staged. So, I'm serious. This is freaking. I feel like such a jackass. Thank you. So he was saying that as a farmer, whenever he has a plant that is unwell, he checks its pH and finds, oh, it's too alkaline or too acidic. And so he changes the alkalinity or the acidity and fixes it. And he started thinking, well, I'm an organism just like this plant. I'm just a little bit different. Who's to say that my health problems are not because of something simple like alkalinity or acidity? So he had himself checked, because he had a whole bunch of health problems and all these exotic health conditions that doctors wanted to give him all kinds of medications for. And he just found that his body was too acidic because he was drinking too much freaking coffee. And also health gurus starting 10 years ago started recommending people to start ingesting apple cider vinegar first thing in the morning. Oh, is that really good for you? Oh, yeah, it's really great for your health. What's it do? It ups your freaking acidity. And next thing you know, you got a bunch of health problems that were completely unforeseen and unprovoked. I live in Guatemala and we're really big on fireworks. I don't know if you heard that. So he found that all he had to do was correct his acidity by 1, not drinking so much coffee, 2, adding more alkaline foods like black and purple grapes and broccoli. And what I started doing was drinking water out of glass bottles, not plastic ones, and ingesting all those microplastics, but also putting a little bit of baking soda in my water as well, so that I can continue drinking coffee to excess because it's my only vice these days. The body is a self-healing organism as long as you're not poisoning it. So it's possible that a cancer is your body collecting all of the toxins that are in your body. You know, like mucus. You get a cold, your body collects mucus, creates mucus in order to collect all of those germs and bring them up into your nose for easy expulsion. But instead of doing that, you take medicine that will dry up the mucus, and that way you stay sick for longer, you just show fewer symptoms. In that way, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Well, what this Italian doctor was saying was a cancer is your body collecting all of these toxins that are inside of you and putting them in one place. And you start bombarding it with radiation so that it bursts.
Okay, Alex,
also don't know if it's true.
I love you so much, but I do want to move on.
That's great. I got to sign an autograph.
I really, but
Christy,
but also
Christy.
real quick. While you're signing that, Alex, just hear this. In chat, George Washington X has said, you are the best dressed person in the history of Creative Chaos, Vulcan Lives agrees, and they're also wondering where your Conquistador helmet went. So if you're not too embarrassed to put it back on, please do.
Conquistador helmet.
All right. Who wanted to say something to me?
No, I was just going to say that the next topic on the conspiracy wheel is probably going to be cancer.
Yeah, right. I don't think I put cancer on there. But yeah, thanks a lot for taking fluoride in the water.
I know. I couldn't help it. I distill my water, so I'm just trying to get in there, you know.
I think I want to next go to Paranoid American. So you're gonna give a quick shill if you like, and then you're gonna spin the wheel, brother.
All right, let's go.
Okay, go ahead.
He said, "You ain't got to. I don't need no introduction. Spin the wheel," he said.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, he doesn't need. Oh, he does not need introduction. Yeah, Lee. Thanks a lot.
Sorry.
You want
no,
it?
I can run with this one, and we can
All
go
right,
on a
let's do
tangent
it.
off of it too.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I guess I
I
did
know
skip over my quick promo. Just go to paranoidamerican.com.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories are basically my lifeblood. They've been since the mid 90s. So if I can pull the hipster card, like I was into conspiracy theories before all these young bucks in 2019 thought they woke up. So I got at least a couple decades on y'all. So the fluoride conspiracy, the one that I want to steer this towards is that Stanley Kubrick helped put this into the public consciousness, and that Stanley Kubrick was super woke in the way and that he was at least aware of all these different sort of conspiracies, but he puts this as one of the plot points in Doctor Strangelove, and it's that the commies are trying to numb us and lower our IQs by putting fluoride in all the major water supplies, and they pitch that as if it's the ramblings of a madman, right? And it's sort of is used to discredit this angle, but he, along with a lot of other sort of kind of top secret programs and like information that wasn't really mainstream, he was like this medium into bringing it into public consciousness. So fluoride being one of the very earliest examples of all this, and there's a longer list that goes with that. And I've heard, I've gone down these rabbit holes, but one of the ultimate aspects of, okay, why fluoride? Why they put in the water supply? There was two angles to this. One of it is that it's naturally or unnaturally, it's a toxic byproduct of the petroleum industry. So like not only if they add it to the water supply and they convince everyone that it fixes your teeth, then now you don't have to figure out how to dispose of this highly toxic runoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not only do you not have to worry about it, you can make a profit off of it. You can start selling it wholesale to government and municipalities, and it's been so ingrained, like put it in toothpaste. So it's sort of a win-win in that case. And then if you get into the more woo-woo aspect, which I'm totally on the fence on this one, but that it's apparently it will calcify your pineal gland either faster or just at all, and that if somehow we were able to abstain from ingesting fluoride in any form, that we might have some semblance of our third eye still sort of intact. I don't know how much I agree with that, because I think that like the biology settled, like it's already like sunken into our head at this point, kind of like lizards. But this is all ties right back to fluoride. So yeah, there's so many reasons why it's in the water supply.
I'd agree with both that what he's just said. Like I said, the byproduct thing, that adds up. I totally believe that. Like we are basically used as human bins. So basically, they'll just feed us junk food. It's called junk food for a reason, because it's junk, and then we just like get rid of it in our natural process. But I'm a massive believer in the whole calcifying pineal gland thing. That's why I originally started it. Because when I first heard of that conspiracy theory, the fluoride thing, I was like, because I would check on my local Northumbrian water on mine, and I frequently asked questions. It says, do we add fluoride to the water? And it said, yes, we do. I went, why? And it's like, oh, because like you said, it apparently fixes your teeth.
Well, it's mandated in a lot of municipalities. They have a requirement of a minimum amount of fluoride, and if they fall under that, they're subject to all sorts of fines and legal ramifications. So it's beyond just like an additive. It is a required, poison that's been added.
I'll bet, because we're in a giant slave system, and we'll have to calcify that pineal gland so we don't start thinking for ourselves.
You
Can't
can
say
Google.
For the first time in my life, I lived in the city all my life. And for the last 5-6 years, I've lived out in the boonies with the well. Okay. And, when I tell you for 61 years old, I'm pretty freaking healthy. Well, there ain't no problem with anything else either. I'm in good condition all the way around. Don't need no additives. Don't need no help. Just saying. It's like.
Can you get hard for us right now to prove that?
Yeah.
I'd have to be in the mood, bro.
You'll show your back.
The atmosphere that's going to do that for me. You know what I mean? You guys are all good looking, but not that good looking. You know what I'm saying? I'll back that team.
They got a drug for that.
Real quick, to find out more about fluoride and where they started with it, first I would highly recommend y'all to Google a documentary called Century of the Self, which talks a lot about Edward Bernays, who was the evil genius responsible for an awful lot of horrible things that happened in the last century. One of the reasons I came to Guatemala was because I found out he was the one that the CIA hired to start the civil war here. Anyway, Edward Bernays, that's Bernays, Sigmund Freud's nephew. He was hired by Oscar Ewing, Ewing. Just look them up to help justify putting fluoride in the water in 1949 and why. And you'll also find out why we think breakfast is the most important meal of the day and bacon makes everything taste better and why it's okay for women to smoke in public. That's all.
I think a lot of us here probably know who he is, Bernays, right?
Oh, never mind.
Come on, we're on a panel of conspiracy theorists, y'all.
Well, nephew of Sigmund Freud came up before in the Madeleine McCann case. I don't know if I'm getting the exact.
Oh no,
guy.
that's a different guy.
Oh really?
That was
right.
That was another relative of Freud. What was his name? Clement.
That's it. I've got it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
but
right,
okay, the whole family's messed up.
Anybody want to wrap this one up?
Have to have a good tray panning done.
Sorry?
I got another cool tie to Bernays. Bernays was in a group called the Century Club, which was like a very elite sort of like a social club plus in New York, I believe. And through here, Edward Bernays had direct connections with a guy named Robert Gordon Wasson and also a guy named Henry Luce. And Henry Luce was the owner of Time Life magazine and a bunch of the other ancillary magazines. He was also a member of Skull and Bones. So there's this really like the Century Club is this epicenter of all these various secret societies that would all kind of meet and decide on public policy over drinks, right? Because it was kind of like a social atmosphere. But then they would go back into their respective industries and enact these things that they would come together. And like one of the good example outside of Bernays and just his pervasive sort of mentality, but Robert Gordon Wasson is the one that goes and finds magic mushrooms. He finds salvia divinorum. He finds all these different drugs. And they meet in the Century Club, and he tells Henry Luce about this. And Henry Luce is the one that publishes the magazine articles, and he literally dubs magic mushrooms. So it kind of like comes full circle with the medical industry again, too, because now we're talking about the Rockefeller medical system.
I ain't gonna act like I ain't never ate a mushroom. I'm just saying.
All right, guys, let's move on. Hey, RJ, I think I'd like to call you up next because I forget if it was you or Pops that was my more recent guest, but
I was more recent. He was before.
All right. Still RJ. All right. Do your pluggy plug.
I'm RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, and I will help you with your crowdfunder with Critical Blast Consulting and check your data to make sure it is clean. Go to CriticalBlast.com, check out all the books we are publishing, and if you want to publish your book and it's good, hit us up. We're not on Xerox machine.
Awesome. All right, let's bring that wheel up for you. Let's spin it, cause.
Public education. Oh, I'm gonna have to spin again.
All
right.
These are conspiracies? Okay, human potential.
Dude, if I gave any of these to Paranoid American, he could probably go on for like 3 hours about each
All right.
one.
Well then.
Well, you can spin one more time though.
I was ready to jump into that public education. I would have eaten it.
I'm ready. I was ready on both of those. I'm like, yeah, I got something.
Are you taking that one?
I'll have to take human potential. I'm not afraid of it.
You just have to take the next one.
I know.
You get one more.
Okay, let's take the one more then. Let's take the one more.
All right. He's gambling, you guys.
It's perfect for
Actually,
you.
I think he has this one covered.
That's perfect for you.
Oh. Well, now, cryptids are just, pets we haven't met yet.
Well, we met some of them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and they're no longer, cryptids are a dying breed because every time we discover one, the world of cryptids is just a little bit smaller because now they're no longer cryptids. We find the coelacanth, and I'm saying that completely wrong, I know. It was no longer
coelacanth.
It was, yeah, it was now it's a fish. We discovered the giraffes, and we have to take the camel leopard out of the whole cryptid thing. So yeah, cryptids are out there. It's just and for those people who we would have seen them by now. Dude, I grew up in rural area. I was not a hunter. Not against it. It's just like Ron White says, it's 4:30 in the morning, it's cold, and I don't want to go. I went most of my life not seeing a deer unless it was on the side of the road, already having been seen by somebody else. Too late. And now I'm like, I'll go home to where I grew up. I see herds of deer. I've seen more deer in the last year than I've ever seen in my life. So they were always there. They're just not hiding as well anymore. That's where I'm kind of getting to with that. There are animals that maybe they're not tired of hiding yet. And they're just really, really, really good at it. And that's, why we don't see them very often. And we only see them and then they're gone. They camouflage really well. Bigfoot is obviously one of these. The migration pattern of Bigfoot, we can kind of figure it out. But that doesn't mean that you can just say, yeah, we're sitting on the Bigfoot trail here. It's August. They should be through here any minute now, like the monarch butterflies going to Mexico. But we're getting there. We will eventually get, our Sasquatch buddies on camera.
I agree with you. Let's throw it to the panel.
In England, we don't really have Bigfoot, but we've got our famous one, the Black Panthers. So basically, they live on the moors. So basically, if you're in England and you're going for a walk on the moors and you hear a growl behind you, don't turn around. It's an armed black man.
That's racist.
Hey, I used to live in Ireland. And we had 55 acres out in the countryside. And there was this one time at band camp, my family went off to Portugal and left me all alone. They left me all alone so that I could tend to the animals. And all right, never mind. I'm going to go on a really long freaking story that's hilarious, but it'll eat into our time. But I met a black panther that had escaped from the freaking zoo. And instead of trying to apprehend it, they were just, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna see what it does. We're gonna observe it from afar. The fuck you are? It was on our freaking land and almost ate me because I was being stupid. You ever see a horror movie where they say, "Oh my God, there's something big, a freaking monster right there," and they run inside and grab a flashlight? I ran past the cupboard with shotguns. I had 5 freaking shotguns in the cupboard. I ran past it to get the flashlight and go out and shine it on it and go, "Ha ha, I caught you, you fucking giant beast."
Dude, you can't call him that.
Like Jesus Christ, I felt like an idiot.
Anyway, it sounds like you totally ate up the television movie propaganda programming right there.
My girlfriend was telling me what an idiot I was and comparing me to the moron that gets eaten in the first 15 minutes of every horror movie.
It's a good idea.
He's the one you keep going, don't go in there. He goes in there any fucking way, right?
You want to be the second guy who gets killed in the horror movie because he's the one who gets killed while having sex with the girl in the.
He gets laid, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, I need to point out.
We do actually have black freaking panthers in rural Ireland because of one that escaped.
It's a good job you didn't get your shotguns, though. I mean, that's murder.
There's I had to point out there actually is a British Bigfoot. It's kind of on the cusp of it, but it falls directly into the definition of what a Bigfoot was. It dates back kind of old. It's 12th century, but it was in Orford, and it was basically a fisherman claimed that he had caught this hairy man that was running around and just eating exclusively fish out of people's catchings for the day, and then he like ran off into the woods. So there's a direct dovetail between these hairy man theories and Bigfoot, and actually because we're talking about cryptids, right? There's a whole bunch of really interesting Bigfoot ones. One of the Bigfoots is that there was a Mormon missionary, I believe it was in the 19th century, it was in like the late 1800s, that claimed that he ran across Bigfoot on the road and he had a whole conversation with him. And this Bigfoot character told him he was actually a descendant of Cain and that they were essentially like these Nephilim creatures and that Bigfoot had dated back to these biblical times. There's the concept that the only Bigfoots that we've seen, the Patterson Gimlin footage style, Harry and the Henderson style, that these are actually, these are homeless Bigfoot. These are ones that have either been kicked out of their communities or have lost their homes because the Bigfoot species, since they've been around longer, are actually like this highly advanced civilized race, almost like an Atlantean or like Lemurian inner earth like advance. And the inner earth thing isn't just a wild idea. There's this guy that has a extensive research, but it's called the Missing 411. And if you take a map of all of the Bigfoot sightings and you take a map of the underground cave system in America and you take a map of all the missing people that have gone like hiking, they all kind of match up to like the heat maps kind of blend together in a way. So there's lots of really interesting Bigfoot theories out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just got to shout out, the guy's name is David Paulides. If anybody is interested in real great Bigfoot research, look up David Paulides and Missing 411. Fantastic. He is the king of Bigfoot research. Thank you.
Do you guys ever see? Do you guys ever see any of the like trail cam footage? And what do you think of that? Because I've seen some creepy ass shit.
I love watching that. That's some fantastic. Like there was one of them. There was a homeless guy only in underwear on a bike, just flying past the camera and just looking at us like angrily. And it was probably real. Like you saw the camera. You know?
I mean, I've seen some creepy shit though, like with like hands with like a long claw, like like Lady Deathstrike type shit. And just weird shit, glow, I mean, eyes that just don't look like human eyes, but it's like, it's not a deer. I mean, you see a deer go by on the same trail cam 5 minutes before that.
I bet they do exist. There's a one in England that I only recently heard of. If you see a soaking wet horse by a body of water, like a river, and its hooves are facing backwards, don't go anywhere near it because it's actually a lure and it'll suck you into the river to eat you.
Yeah,
Just
Count
interesting.
Dankula did a whole Count Dankula is doing a whole series of Celtic legends, and he covered that one. I don't know
Oh,
what
really?
it's called. Yeah,
It's something like Koalef or Koalan or something like that. It's some
yeah.
some weird one.
About
All
the
right.
people with really long fingers, like Lady Deathstrike, stuff like that. Because I live in a place with fewer medical breakthroughs. God, there's no politically correct way of saying it. I have met people like during Holy Week, which is the week that culminates in Easter Sunday. The entire freaking country comes here to Antigua, the city where I live. And there was this one afternoon where I was walking down the sidewalk and something made me just stop and look across the street, across this multitude of people at a little girl that was sitting on her father's shoulders. And I noticed that somebody else who turned out to be her uncle was standing nearby and staring at me like, hey, who are you, asshole, that's looking at my niece? You know, when you notice somebody staring at your family member.
Yeah, I've been that guy. I know.
Yeah, you strike me.
I am that guy.
So anyway, a graven image passed by, and everybody crossed themselves, and this little girl crossed herself with hands that I had not seen yet. And she had two fingers that were very, 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 very long, and a little stubby thumb. The poor girl, I've met a lot of people here that have these birth defects, but her fingers were unnaturally long, and she crossed herself with these strange hands. And I never understood what made me stop and look across the street and stare at this girl until I saw her cross herself and realized who I had been staring at. Just a very unfortunate person. These birth defects just happen to people that maybe their parents cannot avail themselves of modern medicine like you can in the US and other first world nations.
Right. I mean, most of the trail cams we watch are actually from the US, though. That's, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
but are the people that are being filmed out in the wilderness people to whom modern medicine is available?
Are they even people?
Are they people whose parents were taking folic acid, or are they people whose
aliens?
Not aliens.
They're aliens.
Not aliens. Just people that modern medicine was not available to because they live out in the woods and certain circumstances affect pregnant women.
You have people now that
they got them big old hands and
you got Slender Man, you've got your black-eyed children, you've got La Llorona. They're not animals that are, we're waiting to discover and add to the zoology. They're people with a lore behind them, and yet I have guy on my show. Pops, you know him, does the 656 comics. Whereas to this day, when he was a child, there was a banging at the door when he was staying with his brother, and his brother said, "Don't go out there." He's like, "But she's crying." He's like, "Yeah, that's La Llorona. Don't go out there."
Can you imagine just sat in a bar and a cryptid, like a pterodactyl, just grabs your shoulders and takes you away? Like, how much your life would just change? You'd be like 5 gears of terror all at the you'd be looking around like,
some people would actually be super into it. Maybe this says something about me, but if you look on Amazon, there is a subgenre of literally thousands of books of romance novels that are all about women going into the woods and meeting fill in the blank, Bigfoot, Mothman, reptilians,
Beauty and the Beast, all of it.
You can understand Bigfoot. But,
no, it's everything. It's turned into an entire. I think it started with like a Bigfoot romance genre, and it's raunchy. It's very raunchy. And the reason that I know this, if you want to believe me or not, is I was like, it would be hilarious if someone made, like a romance Bigfoot novel. It took it totally serious and it went on Amazon. And I was like, oh, not only has this been done, it's been done like 400 times. And some of them are bestsellers. And some of these dudes have sold like hundreds of thousands of copies of it. Like it has exceeded the threshold for like, oh, what a funny gag gift that I'll buy for someone as a joke. Like it's beyond a joke.
The front cover, if it hasn't been done yet, you're welcome. Somebody can have it. There'll be an indentation of the mud and a 12-inch measure next to it.
Turn the camera on, Doc.
Yeah. Hey, I got to welcome Doc. Hello, Doc. Thanks for being unfashionably late.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we have been spinning the wheel of conspiracy. We've been talking about cryptids. I was going to end it with RJ because he started it, but we've gone on into like fantasy sexual tales of Bigfoot and all that. But I think it's time to move on at this point.
I think all that stuff didn't all that stuff kind of start with like Beauty and the Beast, like with some grim fairy tale type stories. Isn't that really?
It started when the Nephilim went among the sons of man and sowed seeds of the women.
I mean the stories.
Well, I wanted to
the romance stories.
That theory.
I wanted to apologize for being late. I double booked myself like a moron.
Of course.
I forgot to take into consideration the time zone differences, so I do apologize.
You are absolutely forgiven because I love you as I love everybody on this stream tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming to the all conspiracy corner of creative chaos tonight. And I'd like to move on to another conspiracy. And I'm going to throw this one to the best dressed man in the house, Alexander Farrar. Let's do it.
Why, thank you.
I wore my best Hawaiian shirt. God.
Quiet.
And it's lovely.
All right. If you want to shill your stuff, do so now.
Okay. I always feel like a jerk saying this, but so by the grace of God, I've got an author with 23 books out. I'm working on 24. I'm a neoclassical painter, and I also have a very popular restaurant in the corner of Central Park in a resort town, Antigua, Guatemala. I've been very blessed. My grass is plenty green.
Yes. And where can people find you? Where do you like people to find you?
Well, I have a YouTube channel called The Villain's Voice, where I do book readings from some of my books. I'm also alexfarrar.com. Anywhere else? Yeah, I'm all over social media these days, but it's a pain.
I would assume alexfarrar.com, and that's double R in the middle, right?
Yeah, Ferrar. It's Ferrari without the I, because my grandfather changed it in the 50s, and who knew Enzo was going to have so much luck with his cars? Oh, no!
All right,
So,
let's bring...
I have a question.
Okay.
What you want? What you want to know?
I want to know from Alex. When you say neo-realism, can you tell me what
neoclassical?
Neoclass. Can you tell me what that is?
Okay, so I am trying to be a pre-Raphaelite artist, but it's really freaking hard, and that's the entire point. And I just don't think I have enough discipline yet to do it. But let me see. What's an example? I don't freaking have. So I'm in an art gallery restaurant, but I don't have a lot of my work with me. But I'll show you what I'm working on right now. It's this.
Okay.
Can you see that? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like to paint these days traditional subjects, but in an untraditional manner. Like I've done 5 different interpretations of the crucifixion of Christ, from one from the point of view just of the soldiers that are crucifying him as a day in the life of a bunch of soldiers, and another one as something horrible that happened to a woman's son. I also did recently one that I'm very, very proud of. Hold on a second. I'm going to hurry. It's Pontius Pilate yelling at the soldiers who tortured Jesus because they went overboard. I don't know if you know this, but Pilate's wife, Claudia Procula, was also the aunt of the Apostle Luke. And when she'd heard that Jesus had been arrested, she told her husband that he had to let him go. Like, you can't touch him. He's a righteous man, and you can't do anything to him. He said, baby, I'm under a lot of political pressure from Caiaphas and the Pharisees. I'm going to have to at least rough him up a bit. And
Beautiful.
she said, thank you. And she said, oh, no. You're under a lot of political pressure from me, your wife, and I'm telling you, you got to let him go. So he told his soldiers, hey, you take this. He told these two soldiers, you take this hippie carpenter off somewhere quiet and rough him up a bit. And I don't want to hear about it, okay? You know, just you handle it. And of course, I'm sure you heard what happened. It takes 2 to 3 days to die of crucifixion, and Jesus died famously in a matter of hours. So I think it's safe to say he didn't die of crucifixion. He died of the wounds sustained during the torture. And that was apparent to Pilate when they dragged him back. And they said, hey, boss, here's that hippie carpenter we took care of. And he's looking at him right now going, what the did you do? I told you to rough him up. You killed this guy. He's not going to make it out of this. And there he is. And he goes, you know, he's going to die, which means my wife is going to kill me, which means you two are for the chopping block. And right now they're going, wow, who, me? Hey, whoa, hold on a second there, Ponchi. We were just following your orders. And he's saying, that's not going to work in Nuremberg either. You're dead. Meanwhile, the wife, Claudia Procula, is hiding in between two columns because back then women couldn't come and go as they pleased, not like now. And she's listening and going, oh my God, listening to how her husband has failed her. And there's a lot more to it, like the symbol of Pisces that's in the back behind Jesus. But I think I'm going to extend my time if I start talking about what Jesus has to do with Pisces.
Yeah. Well,
so let's move on to the question.
Yeah,
I think that should count as his spin.
No. I feel a little silly now making Alex spin the wheel, but we're still going to do it because that's what Flip City is all about, and Creative Chaos
please do.
is being
I would love it.
Ridiculously silly. So let's do it. Spin that wheel. Keep or pass? Human potential.
Pass.
All right.
Yeah, because there are some other subjects I saw earlier that people missed.
All right, we're gambling. No, spin again. That's not even a pass.
I think we should do a free spin on that one, yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I would never shut up. I have so many things to say about that. Oh!
You can pass this and then another pass, right? The other was a
Well,
free pass.
that one,
I've seen
because
too
you're
many
either-
videos. I've seen too many videos of astronauts working on space stations and having bubbles drifting up away from them. And it looks a little too much like they're filming something underwater and bubbles are escaping from their scuba tank. I've seen too many of those videos. I've seen too many videos of astronauts in space holding on to things and then they drop them and the thing falls down. in order to believe in space travel. I'm not saying we faked the whole freaking thing in order to beat the Soviets in the Cold War, but just on the strength of those videos, the evidence is compelling. So let's skip it.
Oh, you want to?
I
thought you were taking it, Alex. You wordy motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm a horrible
either
person.
all in, or you either you totally believe,
No,
or you don't.
Pops, we're skipping it. We're skipping it. Go.
I like that public schooling one that somebody else missed earlier. What do you mean angles? I don't even know what that means. What do you mean?
Oh my God, did I misspell that?
Oh no!
It's supposed to be angles. I personally
it's that
don't.
theory.
I don't believe in angles. I think angles were constructed by the Rockefeller system. Going back to the public education topic, to the Prussians. Okay. Anyways,
She misspelled
Oh,
it.
then I
It's
do-
It's all about how
You
the
know what?
Anglos.
Paranoid American. That's great. That because I was going to start talking about the Prussian factory schooling model, and I feel like I'd be preaching to the choir, and I'm in good company. So I'm glad it didn't land on that after all.
Perfect,
Angels,
yeah.
you want to talk about angels? Sure, I got
Yeah.
some stuff to say about angels.
All right.
All right, so I met God 22 years ago. I know I sound like a goof saying that, because when you say when you talk to God, that's praying, and when God talks to you, that's schizophrenia, right? But I died 22 years ago and was in a coma for a bit, and in that time, I left my body, met God. And anybody who's ever met God, especially on an overdose, all say the same thing, that when they talk to God, he was really disappointed. So the thing about angels, what doesn't make any sense is, let's say that there is a supreme being that's omnipotent, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Why the would he need to delegate responsibility to lesser beings, especially ones that have wings? And if they did have wings, why would they have birds' wings instead of wings of other mammals like bats? We can move on now.
Well, I mean, we're throwing it to the panel now. Yeah.
well, I
That's all I
have,
have to say
have
about
to.
that.
If we're talking angels, I have to bring up my favorite aspect of angels, which is that Nephilim story. I think it's Book of Enoch, where the fallen angels come down and they procreate with humanity, and that this is conveniently also the source of all cryptids. This is where all cryptids came from. It was from these angels that basically were mating with the original humans. And beside from just like the surface level that people might have heard of this, I've also heard that every great civilization that kind of sprouted in ancient history all came from a female Nephilim, a female descendant of these Nephilim, and that anyone that wanted to start their own country, they would have to go out and seek what might have been like an Amazonian, like these huge, powerful women that were guaranteed to give them like a giant baby, like a literal giant, like 11-foot, baby that would end up being this huge conqueror. Because if you really wanted to like go out and conquer these lands, why not have like the biggest freaking kid possible? But this is basically another tale of the holy blood, holy grail. This is the passage of this sort of divine blood or divine DNA that you have to use in order to start anything that's going to be worthwhile. So if you're just normie people, you can't really start like a whole thing. But if you've got angel blood and angel DNA to work with, now you can start a culture, religion, country, empire, fill in the blank.
See, that goes back to one of the original cover-ups, which was with Jesus, because he had people asking questions all the time, and one guy said, "Hey, this woman, she's married, and her husband dies. She gets married, and that husband died, and he gets married, and she's married 7 times, and then she gets to heaven. Which one's her husband?" He's like, "Here's my opening," and he's like, "Well, yeah, in heaven you're not married. You're like the angels. The angels don't have sex," which was a great way to cover up that whole, don't worry about all that stuff. That's not real. That's a conspiracy theory. Jesus was saying about angels and their ability to procreate. Don't worry about that. It's not a thing. Oh, that was a good one.
I have trouble believing in the whole. One thing that I'm curious about Nephilim is in a lot of Middle Eastern stories and folklore, I am is a suffix that means plural, right? And so seraphim and cherubim and nephilim, that would mean plural, right? And so I wonder, what is a nephilim? It sounds to me like saying a panini. Nah.
Sorry. When are we going to start talking about the Angles?
I'm still working on that.
The Anglos came over and settled California before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Angles.
Were they before or after the
my face is
sack?
pink enough already. Thanks, Lee. Hey, are we ready to move on to the next subject?
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
let's do it. Hey, Pops, you've been waiting all night to spin this freaking wheel. Let's bring Pops up.
I am Pops Van Zandt, the founder of the Madness Comic Network, where you'll see a replay of this show on Saturday night, amongst all kinds of other shows. Doc has a show on the network. RJ's a sponsor of the network. We have about 25 weekly shows, all kinds of different stuff, gaming demos, just, shows that promote comics, review shows. Matter of fact, we got one going on right now, premiere right now on the network. I'm here and we have a premiere show on my network right now. But Kung Fu Theater with Brian Christgau is live right now on the Madness Comic Network. We broadcast to as many places as we possibly can. We try to get eyes on what everybody does, whether it's a YouTube channel, Kickstarter campaign, or even better, a Fund My Comic campaign. What do you say, Doc? Where you at? Fund
My comic, baby.
Or even best, Flip City Magazine.
I don't even know how to do this without, promoting people. what RJ does is freaking amazing, everybody. I've been with the dude, watching him grow and grow and grow for 5 years now. It's been awesome, man. Just tune into the network. You'll see all kinds of different stuff. You'll have fun.
Tell everybody where to find you.
The Madness Comic Network on YouTube. The Madness Comic Network on Facebook, or Madness Comic on Twitter. It's just, you type in Madness Comic, you're gonna find Pops.
Woohoo! All right, let's spin that wheel.
I think we already covered that.
All right. That's a free spin.
Either you believe it totally or you don't totally.
Oh, I think you can go off on this, honey.
Why didn't I get that?
It ain't even a conspiracy theory, guys. We all know.
Oh, there's stuff
wrapped
up in there. There's all kinds of stuff wrapped up in there.
No, I mean, it's not a conspiracy, though. It's the truth. We all know what happened. I mean, anybody that wasn't paying attention. I mean,
well, explain it to our newbies in the chat that have no idea.
Well, some people will say Mike Pence kind of betrayed the nation, and a whole bunch of people are pissed off about it. Some people will say it was perfectly fine, peaceful protest until somebody started shooting rubber bullets and tear gas into a peaceful crowd. Some people will tell you on one side of the building it was chaos, and on the other side of the building the cops were opening the door and letting people in. This is the most armed nation in the world. There's no such thing as an unarmed insurrection. Okay, period. End of discussion. That's mine.
All right, let's throw it to the panel, but I will say that I was there on January 6th, and it was quite chaotic on the side that I was on. So, I mean, shit was going down, but
when you shoot rubber bullets and tear gas into a crowd, shit's gonna go down.
It's the first time I ever felt tear gas, and it kind of stings.
Did you hear that?
know?
She got tear gassed. You see that? What did she? Were you doing something wrong?
Oh no,
Pops,
I
you're
was
right.
holding a sign, like trying to sell my fucking magazine.
Yeah. Marketing, always marketing. But yeah, Pops, you're right. I mean, we're listening to I'm gonna just say the far left side saying, wow, these crazy Trump Republicans, look at them. They're posing with their guns at Walmart. They're taking their guns to church. Here's a Christmas photo where everybody's got their gun. They're hunting Easter eggs with their guns. They've always got their guns. The day we decide to take over the government, everyone forgot it.
You left them in. It's all bullshit.
What are the
RJ?
You bring your gun. I forgot my gun. Did you bring one? You got a spare? No, I didn't bring any. I thought they were yours.
That was insurrection. I mean, seriously, they would have raised the building. They would have. It wouldn't have been. No, I ain't buying any of it, man. The cops standing to the side with people pleading to them to do something other than stand there, and they just stood there.
The other part of that is the media's collusion with the hoax. Several police officers were killed by violent right-wing MAGA extremists. No, they weren't. The only person that died that day as any action by any party was Ashley, what's her name?
Babbitt, but I will push back on that.
She was
I
shot.
submit that she was not shot.
She was unarmed. She was shot and killed by Capitol Police, and none of the police officers died as a result of any injury they received from anyone on that day.
Doc,
okay, I have to
I
chime in here.
respectfully submit that she did not die. I can explain how. It'll take a long time. I'll instead do a shameless plug. And if you'd like, if I can get your email, I will send you a PDF of it so that you can see it without having to buy it. But I wrote a wee book on the subject. It's called The Factory of Lies. And it is a fiction spy thriller that covers 3 days, January 4th, 5th, and 6th of 2021, and explains in a fictionalized manner what happened. It was a show, not unlike that movie Wag the Dog, and it was a fake insurrection, the whole point of which was to dissuade real insurrectionists from going through with their plan. Long story, but I can send it to you if you'd like.
Well, I want to on the tail end of that, there's something, if you want to see what kind of the roots of all the January 6th, which I would say there's a direct line. You can go to like Oklahoma City and Waco and Ruby Ridge, but those all fall under this umbrella of a program called PatCon, aka Patriot Conspiracy. And I found out about in this book, highly recommended. It's called Aberration in the Heartland of the Real. And it was someone's PhD, but it was all about like Timothy McVeigh. But essentially exactly what you're saying is that the alphabet agencies, they try to create like a petri dish, and they try and introduce bacteria. And there's a place called Elohim City, which was where McVeigh was supposed to have gotten like radicalized by all these different. But if you look into that, it's crazy because it seems that there were more alphabet agency people in Elohim City, and they weren't coordinated. So one of them would like hype another one up, and they'd go back. The CIA would go back and be like, yo, these wackos, I got them to admit to do something crazy. And then like the FBI guys saying the same thing. Like no one realized. They just keep like stacking each other up, but there were never any extremists to begin with. So then like when a normal person comes in, they just immediately become radicalized, but it's because the alphabet agencies are doing that. So January 6th is just a much more refined version of that started, I think, in like maybe the early mid 80s. It was like I think it was like a Usenet thing. It actually started ironically on radicalizing people on the internet, and a lot of people don't even know this, but Timothy McVeigh was like an advanced computer programmer for the time. So January 6th came together on Facebook, and PatCon came together in Usenet.
Wow. Paranoid American, I have to ask you, do you know about just went out of my brain, talking about these agencies?
He had the thought, and then he took a drink of water, and
that was it. Get out.
Well, you know that guy? That guy with that name?
Yuri Bezmenov's article. Did you guys listen to Yuri Bezmenov's interview in 1984 when he tells the host that it's a slow burn over the next 40 years? And this was, I think it was either 1984 or 1987. The KGB officer, Yuri Bezmenov, told us what exactly was going to happen. And we didn't fucking listen. And we became the idiocracy we are today. And that movie is just foreshadowing where we are at this very fucking moment.
That talk that you're referring to, I think, was also included in one of the recent Call of Duty games, like one of the Black Ops or something. It starts out with that interview in the game. So,
oh shit, that's funny that they're using it now. They're bringing it back again. Why?
Well, see, what people are the part that people don't get is, again, this wasn't an insurrection. The media sold that word to everybody. Insurrection would have been a whole fucking bunch of dead politicians. Okay.
It was a setup by Nancy Pelosi and her ilk, her daughter, and this other general's son.
It was a
and
movie.
The whole thing went it was a movie. They used it as a psyop for the rest of the world to let everybody know that Trump is bad. Trump's people are all bad people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the nationalists are attacking.
Yeah, you've got to demonize your enemy. That's what you've got to do.
One of the things, I was watching live that day, and I was watching a channel I usually don't watch because I wanted to see what the other side was saying about it. And what I ended up seeing was that Jaden dude walking through the front doors with the CNN reporter, and he said, "We did it." And he gave her a big old kiss, and she said, "You're not going to show this, are you?" And he said, "No, it was live."
I saw me and Alex give knowing eyebrow raises.
They were celebrating that they had breached the building. And it was a CNN reporter with him, and he's an Antifa dude, a high-up Antifa dude. Everybody knows who he was. They didn't throw his ass in prison. I mean, they came after him later. I don't know what happened to him, but they didn't go after him day one like they were. Come on. The whole thing was set up. It was sold as insurrection. You don't open the door, let people in, and say they.
There are similar things going on in England right now. I couldn't really contribute to this one. I don't really know much about the January 6th thing, but I saw little bits of clips of it. But in England, there's basically a manufactured race war going on right now. A lot of fake right wingers. It's a big deal. A lot of freedom of speech being cancelled and all this kind of stuff. And I work
in to come arrest us, bro. They're threatening
that's what those laws are for. And that's what basically I'll bring up as a libertarian. I'll say we should be concerned about these free speech laws. And these idiots, they'll have tallies for heads. We'll go, "Oh, you must be far right." And you go, "No, I just don't like my government able to put us in jail for saying something."
Isn't that actually
everybody should be on that same fucking page, right?
Yes.
It's insanity.
You don't listen. When you start kicking down doors and arresting people in the middle of the night for a post that might offend somebody, I'm going to need you to pick one and suck it. Okay. That's why we have a Second Amendment, to protect our First Amendment.
Dude.
The funniest thing about it is
keep us.
40 years ago, I was a liberal yelling about free speech. Now I'm a conservative yelling about free speech. How does that happen?
I think probably almost everybody on this panel has a similar story, but I saw Alex raise his hand. He's so polite. He's so nicely dressed and polite, so I have to throw it to him.
Thank you. You're very kind. Sorry to interrupt. It's just a shameless plug again. I mentioned in the book on page 165, it says G. Edward Griffin's 1984 interview of ex-KGB agent and Soviet defector Yuri Bezmenov. He'd heard him break down all the stages of the communist takeover, and he had no doubt that it was all going according to plan once again. The U.S. was destabilized by violence and unrest, a civil war was brewing, and desperate times called for desperate measures. The government would have to take charge, tighten security, abolish the republic, and transition to socialism. But socialism was really just a euphemistic name for feudalism. It sounded a bit nicer, like communism. It sounded friendly, social, community. They sound lovely in comparison to slavery, famine, gas chamber, and firing squad. And then in response to what the other gentleman said on page 193, it talks about how Jaden X, aka John Sullivan, BLM activist who'd been arrested in Utah during a riot in July, that Jaden X wearing a red MAGA hat and all of a sudden a Trump supporter. Another video can be found of him bragging to a woman, Jade Sacker, in the National Statuary Hall. Is this not going to be the best film you've ever made in your life? Because the biggest problem with hoaxes is people's narcissistic obsession with filming themselves pulling them off.
Ooh. Very interesting.
I just wanted to say that was those two things are covered.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm telling you, I watched it live, man. I was like, what is going on right now? You know, and then people argued with me afterwards. No, that didn't happen.
Well,
okay. Just like that meme, Kitty, just like that meme. Don't tell my lying eyes. Just saying, you know.
I got it. And hey, I do want to end this January 6th insurrection with a plug that's not Alex. Okay, Alex? Is that okay with you?
Go right ahead.
Everybody go find Woo's News.
Oh yes, the best.
Find Woo's News, and I challenge you. I absolutely fucking challenge you to not agree with my conclusion that Ashley Babbitt was not shot in the way. That shit's fake. That shit is fake. Just watch Woo's News. Because Alex, you're asking everybody to read a novel. Who reads a fucking novel? Right?
I've seen some video that makes that look pretty suspect.
I got a great video taken with a police officer's body cam of Ashley Babbitt approaching the door with a chaperone and then saying, "Okay, Ashley's here," and "Hey, how you doing? Okay, do you want some water?" Getting ready for the whole freaking thing. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. How the hell can you believe? Huh?
Who else is there, Alex?
I'll send it to you.
Jaden X is there.
Well, yeah, Jaden X is the chaperone.
That's all I have to say about Woo's News. Let's move on, though. Let's move on.
Yes.
Because Doc came in late rudely for double boot.
Oh, shit.
I love you, Doc. It
you know,
really is. I'm the hostess with the shitty mostest.
Listen, I love you too, but I publicly forgave you for standing me up entirely when you were supposed to be on my show.
I slept through your entire show.
You did.
Yep.
And then she came back the next week.
She did.
I did. All right. So, Doc, what we're doing here, which I don't think you're totally tuned in yet, is we're bringing you up. You get to spin the wheel, but this is your elevator pitch plug because, you know, it's a big panel tonight.
Okay.
So plug.
All right.
Going on?
Plug yourself, everything.
I am Doc Blaylock. I'm a writer, artist. I'm a fine art painter. I'm a impressionist plein air painter of some note. I have 7 pieces in the largest gallery east of the Mississippi. I've been making art professionally for 40 years. And I currently, when the fine art market died, actually when it was murdered by the lockdowns, I went from being able to buy a house with my art to not being able to give a painting away. So I remembered, hey, way back in the 90s, I did comic books. I'll go do that for a while. And then I got here and I can't get out. So I currently have a book funding on Fund My Comic called A Damn Dirty Thing. It is a noir story set in a fictional world in which they have all of our technology. So they're current, they're modern, but the aesthetics of the 1940s never went away because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's back to a time when men were men and the women weren't.
Mhm. Oh, which by the way, your receptionist helper lady, she is super sexy and cute. I have gotten more than halfway through your novella and I'm quite enjoying it.
Well, thank you very much. And that is the thing. There's not only with this campaign, I've got previous books and they are all interconnected. Jake Bishop in A Damn Dirty Thing, excuse me,
All right, let's spin that wheel.
is not just a comic book, 20 pages. It is also a novella, 100 some odd pages. So how do I spin?
Oh yeah, no,
You'll
Cos
spin
is
it
going to
for
bring it up. I was just very rude.
Hold up, Kitty. I did try to drop Doc's link in the chat, but on YouTube I don't have a wrench on your chat.
Yeah, we're going to deal with all this later. So, Doc, if you don't know, I don't think you know exactly the rules of the game. You can choose this topic, or you can take another 2 spins, but you're stuck with the 3rd spin, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on this one because I don't even know enough about it to even have a conspiracy theory.
All right.
Oh, absolutely. We can talk about this one.
All right, let's do Mandela Effect. I'm super excited for this one. All right, you get to start it off.
Yeah, I almost. Now, a little background here. I have a hard sciences background in medicine, but I also have extensive education and work professionally as a counselor in the field of psychology. And therefore, I typically follow Occam's razor, and I tend not to believe a damn thing until I know it to be true based on the preponderance of the evidence. Imagine my surprise when I watched a video about the Mandela effect and saw so much shit that I also experienced that I cannot dispute, that something has caused a divergence in people's memories. Nelson Mandela, that it's named after, died in prison. No, he didn't. He got out and later became the president of South Africa. Both of those things I remember as being true.
Mm-hmm.
The Berenstain Bears or Berenstain Bears, whatever you want to say. I want to hear from everyone else on the panel and or the chat. I can't see the chat. Who else has some
So the one that got me on this one is the Fruit of the Loom, that apparently there's a Mandela effect that some of the logos used to have the cornucopia and then later it didn't. I know for a fact I've seen both versions of this.
Yes, that is one that I just saw. I just saw
that's a new one for me too. The Fruit of the Loom thing, but the whole, just real quick, the whole Mandela thing is I literally saw Nelson Mandela walking around at the Liberty Bell with one time at band camp story, like with my band, we toured the East Coast, and it was a whole thing. This kid named Marcus Zimmerman was like looking up, like he was standing on somebody's shoulders to look in the window at Nelson Mandela looking at the Liberty Bell.
Right.
And the Secret Service came and took him down like he was a threat or something. I mean, they knew he wasn't, but they had to do their job. And I'm like, no,
imagine that.
Nelson Mandela did not die. He was looking at the Liberty Bell in 1993. I saw it.
Yeah. But I remember both of those things being reported. One, he's the president of South Africa after he got out of jail. Two, he died in jail.
I've got one.
I believe.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I believe that this whole Mandela effect thing is being popularized by people who are preparing to gaslight us. They are going to say something in the near future that we all know is not true.
Like the economy is doing great.
Taxes up.
Possibly. But they are going. Yeah. But the excuse that they're going to have for all of us that go, wait a minute, hold on, we know this to not be true. they're going to say, well, no. It's actually the Mandela effect, which has been popular lately in pop culture. And we've been seeing an awful lot of it. For example, these cases. And so, no, sorry, what you think you remember is actually the Mandela effect. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's entirely false, and it is going to be a way to gaslight us in the near future about something. I just don't know what that is yet.
Don't
It
So,
might
Alex,
be.
let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Alex. Do you remember the movie with Ashton Kutcher, The Butterfly Effect?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing. I mean, it is the Mandela effect, the butterfly effect. And what do Satanists have to do in order to be okay with doing what they do? They have to tell us what they're going to do. So Satanists,
Black's Law. Yeah.
The revelation of the method. It's supposed to be a karmic-free way of doing. It's basically like, if I tell you I'm going to punch you and then I punch you, then it's your fault.
Right. Karmatic
It's
retribution.
the silence of
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
A person. Sorry. The silence of a person implies their consent is the actual law.
Yes. Karmatic retribution. If you don't step up and say something, then you're allowing it to happen by not stepping up.
Okay, I'm just going to get in here right away and say, no, Bill Gates, you can't put vaccine mosquitoes into the air. So
right, and there's there's this too. They're getting so used to and so comfortable with gaslighting everyone that you have to wonder at what point will they take it to the nth degree. You know, everybody in the world knew Joe Biden was senile. But no, he's sharp as a tack. He's sharp as a tack. These are deep fakes, cheap fakes, blah, 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 blah. Then the debate happened, and they were like, well, fuck, we can't sell that one anymore. And so many other things they're gaslighting right now. Don Lemon interviewed a guy in a park and said, you know, what do you think about the economy? And he goes, you know, I'm making less money than I did under Trump, and it's terrible. And Don Lemon said, no, it's not. No, he said, no, you're not. He told the guy, you're not doing worse than you know.
These are people that say that men can become women and vice versa.
This is the level of gaslighting.
Don Lemon has butt parasites and he needs to fast.
But it's that level of gaslighting that could get us to exactly what Alex is saying, that, you know, now when they pull off a really big one and they gaslight you, they're going to go, oh no, that's just the Mandela effect. Well, but that doesn't, let me bring this back circle to you, and I'll throw it at you, RJ. Some more examples of the Mandela effect. Somebody help me out here.
James Bond.
Sinbad in that movie where he was a genie. He absolutely was in that movie. He made it back when he was to support his crack habit. Yeah, they made this straight-to-video movie. It really did exist. And then it quietly went away because it bombed, as such things do. But now they're making this big deal about it with a fake movie poster with another guy on there, which is so hard to do. I make stuff on Photoshop all the time. It's a cinch.
What do you got, RJ? What do you got?
James Bond, and I'm not enough of a Bond fan to remember all the titles, so forgive me on that one. But I do remember Jaws, the character Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a girlfriend in the movie. He sees her, she smiles at him. We all remember this scene when we saw.
She has braces, yeah.
No, she doesn't anymore.
Wow.
The Russian chick with the unibrow?
No, well, I don't know. But
the little girl.
The whole gag of the movie was that she had these braces when she smiled at him. It's like, oh, they're made for each other. We all remember that.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
But no, they're pausing it and they're like, look, no braces. I'm like, is this like the raw footage and we're not seeing the CGI version that, you know? That's one of the latest ones that hit me. I'm like, I was
agreed.
Like, we have a Mandela effect before they fired up CERN. I gotta know, did we collapse a bunch of realities into our heads and we're trying to compete with the various changes?
All the Matrix.
Nah. Occam's razor, it's a lot simpler than that. It's a hoax.
Yeah, there are tons of theories about the Mandela effect, that it's gaslighting, that it's the CERN supercluster thing. We caused a merging of realities for the multiverse. All these different theories about it. Whatever the case may be, it's real.
Well, this dovetails with MK Ultra and Satanic Panic in a direct way, and that's that there's something called the false memory syndrome association or something. But false memory syndrome it kind of got popularized in the McMartin preschool trial case, where they were accusing these preschool teachers of like having these underground tunnels where they were sacrificing animals and doing like these satanic rituals. But essentially this gave birth to this whole entire thing that was there to discredit this book called Michelle Remembers. And it was basically saying like, you can't actually, or that kids are susceptible to planting these false memories. And the more they think about it, the more they almost become real memories. So long story short is that all of the Satanic Panic has been kind of nullified in lieu of this idea of false memory syndrome. But false memory syndrome is just like the 80s darker version of Mandela effect. It's the exact same thing. It's saying like, no, what you saw isn't really what you remember because of how easy our memories are to tweak. And once someone accepts that, accepts that like, oh, my memories are very malleable. Well, now they are malleable. Like you've just accepted yourself into a hypnotic state. So like the Mandela effect, once you entertain it, you have become a victim of it.
Well, I would argue the opposite. If you're aware of the Mandela effect and you remember both, you remember the girl smiling and having the braces on, you're immune to the Mandela effect, but you're cognizant of it.
That's kind of like
that's not how I remember it.
A Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf is fighting the Balrog and he's hanging onto the bridge, and he goes, "Fly, you fools!" But everybody remembers it as "Run, you fools." And I had to watch it. I had to go back and watch it, and it actually does say "fly." I was like, "Oh,
yes, fly, you fools!" Yeah, that's the word.
Wow, the Mandela effect is endlessly fascinating to me. What I wanted to do real quick though is Batman. I want to give you a spin. Do you want to spin?
I can't see the dial, but if you read it to me, yeah, roll it, let it hit, and then tell me what it is.
All right, let's do that because we're coming up pretty quick on 2 hours here. All right, you landed on human potential.
The third
Someone demands to be done tonight.
Human potential. Okay. Human potential has been stifled because we only use, if we're lucky, 10% of our actual brain capacity. There are some people who have peaked a little bit more, but I look over at my buddy Alex over there. He's got at least 15% going on.
I got 12.
There you go. So when you have mind over matter, this shit works. I don't care what anybody says, but I do believe in mind over matter. And you can, like, I've healed myself, but I'm also using other things to help heal myself this time. I'm using a Rife machine. For anybody who doesn't know what a Rife machine is, it's a frequency emission device that emits frequencies that helps the body heal in certain areas for certain problems and certain medical conditions that Big Pharma doesn't want you knowing about. So, like others who have expressed that they are no longer Big Pharma, I too have been off Big Pharma probably for about 4 years now. Like since just before the vaccine, I did take ivermectin because I was really sick during that whole scamdemic, plandemic, whatever you want to call it. But mind over matter, energy from the earth, grounding, this shit's real. And it has potential to help us open up our human potential to expand our abilities to do more and more with everything we've got.
You know, when you brought up frequencies there, that's a really interesting thing. I've never heard of this conspiracy theory before, but I saw it today on a photo. There's a load of black and white photos of a collection of bells, bells everywhere, giant bells with a lot of ornate patterns on them. And they used to be in our churches, they used to be all over the place, and like in the middle of like giant monuments. And the theory goes these bells had some kind of power to them, some kind of either healing power or energy power. And it's like what Tesla says, that are the secrets of the universe of frequency. Now, why would we take them all down? Maybe they were just old. I don't know. But maybe it's got something to do with that, the whole frequency thing.
I want to correct one thing. The thing about only using 10% of your brain is a myth. We use all of our brain all the time. It's more specifically that we use a small part of our brain for executive decision making, for higher order thinking. Having said that, I do know, for example, that the placebo effect is a very real thing. It's been tested. It passes the sniff test. You can repeat the experiment, get the same sort of results. So, does the brain have the power to do things that we ordinarily would not accept? Absolutely, it does.
I wanted to tag in too that you mentioned the Rife machine, and I've got my Rife coil right here. I've got two of them, the huge ones. But I actually have like a 2-hour video where I go through with Matt Rife, who's a relative of Royal Rife, of going through like exactly how to set up the Rife machine and like calibrating it and using it. And I caught a buzz off of some frequency. We were going through turning frequencies, and all of a sudden I got like a burst of just like euphoria almost. I can't even describe it, but it was wild.
Yeah, cerebral endorphin rush.
I found out recently that babies that are crying can be made to stop crying by hitting certain notes on and this little bowl that people are hitting with a mallet. And so
I thought you were gonna say by hitting the babies.
Yeah, hitting the babies. It also works.
If you hit the baby strategically in various parts of its head, he'll shut up. But no, so I got a recording of this metal bowl being hit with a mallet, because I don't fancy carrying this bowl and mallet around with me. But instead, I got this supercomputer on my pocket that records stuff. And so I got a recording of this. And whenever my new nephew or my new godson or any of the people who bring babies into my restaurant, those babies start crying, I walk up behind them with this recording on my phone, and I press play, and I hold it up to the baby's ear, and he goes, dong, and I hold it, and then they calm the hell down. So I think there's something to what you're saying about vibrations and frequencies.
You know, I heard that might be down there, because I've seen wolves do it as well. If a wolf howls next to a crying baby, the baby knows to be quiet. So I think that might be kind of like a survival thing.
I can
verify that.
We had this goes way back with my first baby, and he was just like crying, and you know we're Americans. We do the thing that Americans do with their crying babies. We put them in front of the television and try to find something. And this is how we discovered the big purple dinosaur and the evil that emanates from that show. Because it was like we'd put it to one show. It's just as soon as we hit the dinosaur, it was like this feeling just fell over him of quiet. I mean, and he's not making these executive level decisions like, leave it there, mother. I would love to watch this show. He's not verbal. We're like, he's quiet. Well, I don't want to watch this crap. Let's find something else. You change that channel. It lifted. He was crying again. That big purple dinosaur saying, I love you, you love me. It shut him up. And that's all what a parent wants in this world, is to shut him up. And which is why we turned on Barney into so many houses in our neighborhood. And there's a conspiracy theory you can put on the wheel.
Now I feel sad that you said, shut the fucking baby up. And why I think so many young parents like have regrets later in life. It's like, oh, I wish I had a crying baby in the house now. And
No,
like
we
me
have the book.
personally,
It'll
I'm
help
looking
sleep.
forward to it being a grandma because I want to ohm into its ear, basically, like Alex said. You know, I'm like, ohm.
When my oldest son was a newborn and he would start to cry, I didn't baby talk to either of my children. I spoke in this voice, and they would always calm down when I talked to them or read to them. And my wife was so distraught that she couldn't do this that she brought it up to the pediatrician, and he said, "No, your husband has a very deep voice, and it's probably resonating at the same frequency as that baby hearing your heartbeat inside of the womb. And so that's peaceful." So yeah, there's something to it.
All I gotta say is young people have babies.
Yes, absolutely have babies. The world is not overpopulated. Bust that myth.
Not at all. I read somewhere that you can fit all the people in the world right now in the state of Texas. If it wasn't a desert, you could fit them all in the state of Texas. There's plenty of room for everybody.
Yes, there's plenty of room. All of that is garbage. You talk about a conspiracy theory, population control. Fuck.
Thank you. I am going to add that to the wheel for whoever happens to have the misfortune on coming on a future creative chaos. Maybe
right.
Well, all you gotta do is look at the WEF and you know that's true. Shit.
If you don't mind my jumping in with this, I think going back to what you mentioned about the movie Idiocracy, I think that movie and other stories like that exist to justify population control in the minds of the malleable public.
Yeah.
Because I used to believe that. I read a book that I wrote 20 something years ago, and I thought, and it was like it was a time capsule because I was so surprised at the absolute bullshit that I wrote, thinking back then that it was true and that I was clever, and I realized that I was just a parrot mimicking other parrots and talking about how we were. No, I'm not going to say it, but I was parroting the same nonsense about how population control was necessary, and people were just creating poverty factories by chunking out babies that they couldn't support. And it wasn't until 20 years later, and I realized just how freaking wrong I was, and I was just repeating bullshit that I heard.
On the point of movies implanting ideas about depopulation, a big one is Avengers, the one where Thanos snaps his fingers and half the universe disappears. If you notice,
well, wait a minute. Go ahead. I just wanted to ask if everybody knows Steve Mnuchin. Does everybody know who Steve Mnuchin is and what he represents?
Yeah.
I forget why.
Who said no?
Well, let Lee finish what he was saying and then tell us about.
So when Thanos snaps his fingers and half the universe disappears, a lot of people, if you look at like Watch Mojo, I don't know what you guys have in America, but like a top 10 countdown or whatever, you'll always see people saying, "Oh yeah, Thanos was one of those villains who was actually right."
Yeah, they do.
It keeps coming up, and you go, "That's propaganda." Because if you look around the world, if you look at the open fields, there's not too many people for the world. There's too many people for the next system. There's too many people for the slave system where everything's automated, and they can't handle all these slaves who are eventually going to figure it all out.
Right.
I'm getting depressed.
Have you noticed something? Leftist propaganda is very strong towards lowering the population. Leftists are pushing homosexuality, abortion, getting married later in life, not tying yourself down with children. Even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was. I watched her chopping vegetables to prepare her dinner and just talking into her phone and saying, why don't you think about not tying yourself down with babies? And I noticed that at that time,
seem obvious, right? It's all obvious.
I don't know about you, but I'm being bombarded on Facebook with articles about how many millions of dollars having a baby will cost me once all of these costs are accumulated at the end of 18 years. All of these things to dissuade me from reproducing, but it's all coming from the left. The right side of the political spectrum is recommending you to get married and have children. And it looks like the Democrats are trying to push their own followers to push themselves into extinction.
Yeah, let me build on that. Let me build on that. You've got this thing of you're overpopulating the earth, we're destroying the earth, global warming, and there's literally here in town, there's a billboard that's a picture of the planet Earth. And it says, there is no Earth 2.0, take care of this one. And right below it, God bless them, First Baptist Church posted the verse that said, and behold, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. And below it, it says, the earth is never meant to be an infinite resource. Boom.
Well, there's something I need to point out because I'm a leftist and I've got a big old leftist library here. The first time I heard the word left was Ben Shapiro, and he spat it out like a swear word. And this is back before in England, we don't actually have left and right. Or we didn't until we started listening to you Americans. And when you hear what left and right is, it's an interesting concept because when you look at leftism and rightism, like I say, I'm going to define it, and maybe you guys can too. But what I'm going to say, what everybody really is criticizing, and I criticize it too. I criticize the same thing you guys are. I would call it wokeism, because what leftism is really, and I hear the word like a swear word, leftism is the people owning the means of production. It's workers' rights. If you're a worker, you should be on the left, really. And if you're on the right, you're for tradition. That's how I would define it. And the thing I argue against is wokeism, but I consider myself on the left because I'm a workers' rights guy.
In England, that works. In America, the right and the left mean a couple of different degrees of that.
And the goalpost keeps getting changed.
And they change,
to completely change them.
Like I said earlier, when I was 20, I was a left liberal. I leaned to the left. I was for free speech and legal weed and all those cool things as a young man that I thought everybody should have, right? I am 61 years old next week, and I'm still a free speech, legal weed dude, but now I'm considered far right.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'd be considered far right because I'm very honest and I like to tell jokes. And that's the funny thing. It's like if you really looked into the left-right spectrum, if you looked into the political compass spectrum, you've got left-right and authoritarian and libertarian. And I would have more in common with any libertarian, basically. But it's interesting when you really try and find yourself on that spectrum.
But we have we have the one thing that you don't have that sets us apart, because I'm not a Republican or a Democrat or a libertarian. I'm a constitutionalist.
All right, okay.
And whatever this says, that's my final law in the nation, right here.
America is very different to England, yeah.
So that makes me also far right now because I believe in the law of the land.
Yeah, I would very much love for England to have to adopt a version of our Constitution, because I want you guys to have absolute free speech. I want you guys to have the right to defend your God-given right to life.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the key word, is the God-given right.
Yes,
right. I mean, so do you actually need a constitution to lay those things out? I mean, Lee, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. England has a constitution. It's the Magna Carta, and that's very, very old. So here's the thing about England common law. Our law is still a law of the land, but we've got this new thing called legislation. And politicians make up legislation, and it becomes the new law by consent. So if we don't consent to it, we're not subject to it. But you try telling a cop of that. You try telling an employer that. It's not going to happen. They're still going to cave your head in, you know? And then you go to the judge, and it's like, well. But I've heard a lot of interesting stories from the common law guys, where basically, if you don't address yourself as you, basically you're a free man. And if you don't stand when the court says all rise, you're representing yourself as a living human. Don't quote us on that. But there's a weird common law thing where they're presuming your legislation like you're a legislation guy and not a common law guy, and there's a weird kind of gray area on that.
Yeah, they try to play with that here with like sovereign citizens and whatever, and those guys, of course, they're a fucking joke. They never win because their premises are wrong. They misquote Supreme Court statutes, blah 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 blah. But they try
it with maritime law.
Yeah, they do that. You know, I am not the person on this court document. I am the living man. Blah blah blah, and it carries zero legal weight whatsoever. But the spirit of what they're trying to do is to say that, you know, I'm not subject to an unjust law.
Right.
And natural law, of course, is what was the founding of Magna Carta. Natural law comes from God. Natural law, Magna Carta, led to our Constitution, our Federalist Papers, whatever. But, you know, they don't make the allowance for the fact that our provisions in our government say that, you know, the 10th Amendment, whatever, is not laid out as powers of the government in this document, is left to the several states, and those states can make laws, and they do. They just don't like it.
Myself, it doesn't matter who thinks that wherever my rights come from,
but
I decide what I'm going to take or not take.
Yeah.
I'm the one with free will that decides what my rights are at the end of the day. I'm going to be the one that makes them all.
You're sovereign. You're the only sovereign.
Exactly. And, you know, yeah, will that fly in a court of law? You know, no, they're not going to believe that, but I don't care. I'm going to do my sentence and my time living the same way and get out believing the same thing. They're not going to change me. I've been in prison twice. They didn't change me either time. I'm still that same guy, you know, so. Yeah, prison for weed. People don't get carried away. Prison for weed. I lived in a
crickets.
zero-tolerance state.
Wait.
It's horrible, you know. But yeah, weed, nothing else.
I think we can all agree on legal weed, right?
On what?
Yeah.
Legal
weed
Saves lives, baby.
I'm still waiting for
a way of
prostitution.
pacifying the population.
Weed saves lives.
I'll take it a step further. I'll say mandatory weed.
It's a literal opiate of the masses.
I am going to take it a step further than that and say mandatory mushrooms. It's going to solve all our
some
problems.
people can't handle the shrooms. Don't say that.
I think that would be a very interesting thing. Everybody has DMT one time in their life. They get to touch the face of God, and then we'll try and figure things out.
All right. I think on that note, we're going to wrap it up. But I do have tonight a live read. I think all of you have participated in this in one way or another. And I almost did not put this in the show tonight. And I'm like, bruh, what the fuck you thinking, Christy? Like, we have all these dudes here, and we have this really fun conspiracy parody of Jerks of Joke Island meet ancient avians. And I think pretty much everybody here knows Oka Island and ancient aliens, right?
Yes.
All right. Hey, Cause, I don't know if you fell asleep, but I did want to give you a spin, but we're getting pretty late here. So we're going to skip your spin tonight. And before we go into that, I just have to give a major shout out to Machine Man who popped into YouTube chat. He is a dear, dear friend of mine, and he's never seen me live stream ever before. Like, we literally talk on the phone all the time, and he's touring the United States in his RV. I fucking love the guy. Machine Man, love you. Thank you for being here. I'm surprised you have signal. And hello. So are you guys ready to go into a branded segment? Because I'm branding all of you again.
Okay.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Good.
All right. So here we go. We've got the Jerks of Joke Island meet ancient avians, and this is the cast. Lee, I think you might have done this one before.
Yeah, I did the Australian guy.
Do you want to do him again, or do you want to pick a different role?
I'll do it again. I'll mix it up. Why not?
All right. You're Gary then. And I'm assuming, Doc, because I was thinking you have a great voice for Rick Mangina. And that is like pretty much a lead role. You're a good reader, right?
Okay, sure.
All right,
Can I
you're
be
taking Rick.
Shatner? Can I be Shatner?
Oh, please do your best impression. All right, so we've got Marty Mangina, Craig Pester, Jack Bugley, and Giorgio Sucralose. Dude, Paranoid, can you please take Giorgio? I think you're going to do a great job with him.
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So Marty, Jack, and Craig. RJ, will you take Craig?
Sure, I'll take Craig.
Hey, just a forewarning on that. Craig, his first panel, he does not have glasses on, and I think he's squatting to take a shit.
Okay. Do I have a narrator this time? Because that one kind of slowed things down.
What's that?
Do I have a narrator?
Well, hey, Alex, will you be the narrator?
I apologize. I don't feel comfortable doing that at the moment, considering the people in my immediate vicinity. Do you remember I mentioned the Ministry of Culture being at the restaurant? Well, they're right here next to me.
Are you gonna sit back and listen then?
I courteously abstain. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to pretend like I'm a normal person to not embarrass my wife, and
all right.
Failing miserably.
I will.
So I courteously abstain from participating in this for the next few minutes.
All right, yeah, no, you just sit back and watch, and I will take narrator, and all I need is a Jack Bugley. Who's still here? Does everybody have a role? Lee, no. Lee, okay. Jack, I need a Jack.
Batman can be Jack. Where's Batman?
Yeah, Batman, you still here? Can you take Jack?
Okay.
All
I can take Jack.
right. Here we go. We're going to open up Jerks of Joke Island. I am the narrator. You guys all have your roles. Let's do this. For Rick and Marty Mangina and crew, it's the first day back shooting another season of their long-running cable show on a tiny island off the coast of Canada. But will it also be their last? The Jerks of Joke Island meet ancient aliens.
That's you, Doc.
I don't see anything on the screen.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you got to pin.
Yeah, pin Cosmic Grandpa's screen.
You might have to scroll over on the top to get to him, and then you have to hit the dots.
I'm looking. I'm screwing up completely. All right, Cosmic Grandpa, the dots, pin, got it. So this is me. I'm Mangina, right?
Yeah.
Or this guy, the Anthony Romano lookalike. So, guys, who's ready to find gold treasure today?
Jack Bugley. Batman, that's you.
You're muted, Batman.
Yeah, right. As if. You wish.
I'm sorry. Were any of those sentences?
Rick, after 11 years of this, all I want to find is a standing toilet. I'm tired of squatting over borehole C15.
You know, they say that according to the curse of Joke Island, somebody here has to die before the treasure can be recovered.
We never did assign him.
Who's that guy?
We didn't assign him.
I got $40 on Craig Pester. Who wants to take that action?
I think it's going to be Gary. Gary, who do you think it's going to be?
I hope it's not the guy with the backhoe. No one knows how to drive that thing. Oy vey!
Today we're drilling down 300 feet through solid bedrock to take core samples. as our ground-penetrating radar has indicated the presence of an open chamber. And now, to reveal the bounty. Dirty diapers, an old toaster. Are we being punked? We've been drilling in a garbage dump.
The summers are nice, though.
Meanwhile, team members Gary Dregton and Jack Bugley use a metal detector to search for ancient artifacts buried in the woods.
It's the penny, mate. Just look at it. What a beauty.
Great. I'll just log it, date it, and file it in Gary's giant friggin' pile of old nails. My contract promised I'd be rich by now. These guys are lucky I can't get a cell signal to call my agent.
Oh, don't be such a negative Nigel or Nathan. We could hit it big at any moment. I'm getting a very strong signal here. This one could be gold, but I kind of hope it's another penny. Start digging. Harder. Dig faster, mate. Faster.
Okay, geez, calm down. All I have is a spoon.
Sounds like something big. I bet it's a massive tool of some kind.
All I see is a layer of coconut fibers, probably used by the official Joke Island inhabitants to protect the treasure from water damage.
Pull it up. Let's have a look at it.
What?
Judge Succulus, host of TV's Ancient Avians. What are you doing here?
I was down in a tunnel trying to prove my latest crackpot theories about origins of ancient avians. As you know, humanity was genetically seeded on Earth by a race of giant extraterrestrial chickens from outer space, as ancient avian astronaut theorists believe.
But what about my metal detector?
You must have detected my tacky necklace. I got it from a shaman in Cusco. Or was it a salesman at Costco? Our ancient overlords, they've finally returned. I pledge my fealty.
That's tonight's supper, stupid.
Meanwhile,
Guys, I'm super excited to welcome back to Joke Island our old friend and frequent paranormal TV show host and guest, William Shatner.
So, I see that this island is full of giant boreholes.
Yes, we've been drilling for 11 years.
Now, listen up, schmucks. As an honorary Freemason, Rosicrucian, and Jesuit, I can guarantee you that all the good stuff was removed years ago. And this is a big time waste of money and airtime.
I bet it was the CIA. They beat us to all the cool treasures. It's not fair.
Mr. Shatner is right. We've been here 11 years and we have jack squat to show for it.
Jack Squat? Isn't he one of our producers?
I think we all know what has to happen next. We're going to blow this island sky high. I'm going to find that hidden treasure. If it kills us all, it'll be the ultimate series finale.
oh, you did take this, Alex.
Season 12, Episode 25, Rick Murders Everybody sounds great.
30 pounds of D4 explosives wrapped around Rick Mangina's belly. Will he blow up Joke Island and take everyone with him? Or could it go off by accident and blow Rick to smithereens live on camera?
Honestly, Rick, this is probably your worst idea of all time.
What could go wrong?
Loaded with dynamite. Mr. Buckley, take him out.
Huh? Hi, Captain. Put the explosives down now, Nick.
My name's Rick. Or what, fatty?
That your punk ass can take me down. I'm too cagey for you, kid.
And unlike
And
Bill, I do all my own stunts. We all.
3 years old. Wow.
That's you.
Pops.
Pops.
Did we lose Pops?
Did he mute?
I did it.
Come on.
I did it. You didn't hear me? I did it.
We didn't hear you.
We should probably save Will Shatner.
He's like a mile down there by now. What you gonna do?
Well, guys, the legend was true. We just found the treasure. It's Shatner's wallet, and it's full of gold cards and crypto passwords.
And look, I just found a giant petrified chicken egg. Hard evidence for my theory about ancient avian astronauts.
Pretty sure that's just a rock.
Shh, I want to see where he goes with this.
That's why I get the ratings.
Well, Scotty.
Right. Good job, you guys. And that was the Jerks of Joke Island. Meet Ancient. Thank you for adding to the shit show tonight, you all. That's a good job.
Bravo, cast. Bravo.
And I gotta say, Machine Man over on YouTube says, some of you guys, only some. So we have to figure out who he's leaving out of this. Some of you guys have great voices for this.
Doc is a voice actor. Doc does this. He knows.
I would have loved to have participated more, but I had a whole bunch of people standing around that I had to look like an upstanding citizen in front of. So I apologize. But all these people in suits going like,
Are they still looking down at you?
They just left.
So I had no idea what the character I was voicing actually sounds like on that show because I never watch it. I've seen enough clips from it and from Ancient Aliens to enjoy the satire of it all. But I'm not invested in them, so I don't know.
It really doesn't matter. We're on a live stream. I mean, who does this? Who does live reads of their own IP and original content? I've never seen anybody do it. You do, RJ?
I did it.
He does it. Yep.
I have to watch you guys more.
Yes, you should.
Everybody should.
I'll be doing it this Friday with Golden Age Comics over on Mike Walters' channel, The Mic Stand.
There you go. There you go.
You know,
I do the narration. I do the narration for all the comics.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and close it out for the night. We are about 20 minutes over our regular runtime. And I wanted to have a backstage after party too, that none of you losers out there in YouTube land get to be here. So,
and before you go, before you go, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and thumbs up or red pill us over on the foxhole.
That's right.
Please.
You're totally not
Yeah.
losers if you do that.
That's right. That's the only way to escape loserdom.
All right, cool. Well, real quick, let's just go around the circle for final plugs. So, Batman, you're gonna handle it for you and Cause. And wait, hold on, Cause, if you want to come out, we'd love to see you in your hat tonight. My fantastic producer extraordinaire, Cosmic Grandpa. I see him way down in the corner on the right hand corner. Is that your fantastic cat? There you are.
It's nice.
You know what? I actually
Carbon
think
fiber.
I think you know better than Batman where you guys all stream. So why don't you plug yourself first, Cause?
All right. Well, you can find Three Beer Men on Sunday nights or Sunday afternoons, depending on where you are, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on Foxhole, YouTube. No, not YouTube. Not YouTube. Foxhole, DLive, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, and now X. As of this week, we are blue check verified, and we are going live on X again on Sunday.
All right, that is fantastic. You guys, Three Beer Men, if you like beer and want to keep politics out of you guys have a great show. I really do love Three Beer Men. Go check them out. And I just got to say what's up to Ben Sullivan, our lead parody artist, who said, "Nice job, everyone." That was the strangest Australian accent, though.
Well, I've only got an Australian accent.
He's your fellow Flip City contributor. Giving you shit. All right, Batman, we're skipping you. And Alex, where should everybody find you?
Please find me on YouTube at The Villain's Voice. I'm also now on TikTok and Twitter under the same handle. And please look for my books on Amazon. I'd appreciate it. And if you enjoy the books, I would appreciate a review, please. Lie if need be. Cheers.
That makes all the difference, actually. Feed that algorithm, people. All right, Pops.
I'm Pops Van Zant from the Madness Comic Network, where we have 25 weekly shows, and I do mean weekly. And then we have some that are just random. They happen sometimes. One of them's called Comic-Related Unboxing, and tomorrow I will be unboxing this from Sinopa Publishing, which he was on the show Monday Madness with us. And he said, "Hey, get my book. You'll get that thing in your hand in no time." And I was like, we're gonna put Sam to the test yet again. And sure enough, it's Thursday and it got here today. So that's the kind of stuff we do. Tomorrow, ADHD Theater, 9 p.m. Freewheeling Fridays at 11 p.m. That's it.
And RJ, you go.
I am RJ Carter. You can find us at Critical Blast on all your social medias. You can also go to criticalblast.com, where you can find out more about, on the front page, just what's going on in pop culture. Sometimes we actually put articles up there. Hit the tabs, find out what we're reading for our publishing, because we do publish original material that we take control of, such like the Fables Next Door, which was the last anthology we just did. We are currently reading through the end of the month for Gods and Services' new location. And of course, if you want to see the stuff we've already done, hit the tab that says Bookstore, and you will find not only Fables Next Door, but up to about 45 to 60 other books that we have done. We just published 6 books this week, and the week's not over yet. So
that's freaking awesome. I love that. All right, go Paranoid America.
I feel like I probably have a comic about every single topic that came up tonight, and just to prove it, I'll just list some of those off. There's my Time Samplers comic, which goes into Federal Reserve and a whole bunch of other it's kind of my kitchen sink. I've also got a comic coming out called TitanicComic.com. It's all about Titanic conspiracies. one all about Bigfoot, every iteration, the historical, the biblical stuff. We even get to talk about Harry Mary. If you haven't heard about Harry Mary, that's one of the other cool Bigfoot
Me and you got to
angles.
talk. Me and you got to talk.
So
What
yeah,
I do
we'll
is
definitely
promote.
talk, Pops. And
What I do is promote people that do comics. So I got to get you on a show so we can talk about that stuff.
I've got to sign up for the crowdfunding campaign on a Bigfoot chick track style comic at doesbigfootexist.com. I also, someone passed on it. I won't hold it against you, but since you passed on it, you are like the prime audience for my Illuminati comic, which is conveniently at illuminaticomic.com. And it's something that I've been putting together with a really good friend of mine for years. And it goes into the whole historical background of where they came from, their rise and their fall. It was only lasted for maybe 2 decades. Their reabsorption into French Freemasonry, which then results in Beyonce being in the Illuminati today. Like, it seems like a big stretch, but we connect every single one of those dots. And you're laughing, Christy, but
no, I love it. No, I'm only laughing because it's fucking awesome.
The concept that the Illuminati runs popular music is not a new thing. In fact, while they were at their height, the Illuminati was the direct influencers of Sebastian Bach and his son, C.S. Bach, with Beethoven and Mozart. All 3 of them were directly either tutored or mentored under Illuminati members, and I believe Bach was only published through a lot of Illuminati members. So the concept that the Illuminati runs the pop music industry, it seems silly when someone's like, oh, Drake and oh, Beyonce, but it's literally where they started. So yeah, if you like all that stuff and more, paranoidamerican.com.
No, literally, I laugh when my mind is blown, and that's why I love you so much, Thomas of Paranoid American. All right, Lee, go.
Okay, so basically you find absolutely everything on me on leesimpsonart.com. But my main one right now is on YouTube, Shot Hot Design, all one word. And if you want to find the one that definitely won't get cancelled, it'll be on BitChute as Scamdemic TCG. That's me.
With a ton of fantastic artwork. Go, Doc.
Yeah, I'm Doc Blaylock. I'm the writer and artist behind Pariah Blood and Mud, the upcoming Pariah Sanctum of Hate, and A Damn Dirty Thing, a Jake Bishop novel. I've got a YouTube channel. Look for Doc Blaylock, just like my name down there. I'm the only Doc Blaylock on YouTube right now. There is now a Dr. Blaylock, but he's going to try to sell you vitamins, so fuck him. You can find me on Twitter, Doc Blaylock 8404 8404.
And he does a show.
Oh, yes.
All right. And
Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern.
And that's the show. I thought Pops was saying that's the show. He was closing out for me. But that was Creative Chaos for tonight. I had a fantastic time tonight. You guys, remember to check out Flip City Mag at flipcitymag.com. Give us money. It's not a lot of money. It's just like little bits here and there. Like, we're trying to influence culture along with everybody else on this panel tonight. Pop's a promoter. RJ, like, blasting it out there as hard as they can. I'm getting drunk. I love you. I love all you guys. Paranoid American. He's going to be sending out Flip City tinfoil hats in his latest book about the Kubrick filming of the moon landing, which is very hilarious. Alexander Farrar, who is fantastic, voted best dressed tonight. Lee, love you too. I don't know what to say because I'm trying to like print your cards for you, and you're like, I have to think about that. Love you.
I don't have to think about it. I don't know what I've got yet.
All right. Let's close out Creative Chaos tonight, and we will see you next week. I do not have a guest booked, but let's say goodnight for tonight. Thank you, Cause and Batman, for always being here and being super awesome. Of course, Vulcan Lives and George Washington next. My mods over on Twitter, and I can't believe I'm talking this much. And we're going to talk backstage, y'all. Bye, front end.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.
I am the gay gate. Oh, who enters through me will be safe. I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. Those who came before me, thieves and robbers, I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. I am the shepherd, I am the good shepherd. I know mine and mine know me. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. I am the doorway through. I lay down my life and take it back again. I am the gate, I am the gate, I am the doorway through. Come through me, will be saved. Oh, come through me, will be saved.
I was on stage with no pants on, and the audience, they were all clones of my old friend and business partner, Ted, and I was being forced at gunpoint to give the crowd a lecture in defense of crack whores. It's said that in the prostitution industry, nobody is considered of lower status than the crack whore, because she doesn't work for money, she works for crack. I think that's an awful state. Somebody should stick up for these poor women and let them know that they're not the lowest. The lowest is the snack whore. The crack whore is doing it at least because she's in the grips of some tragic addiction, whereas the snack whore, she does it for little biscuits or crackers. That's barely even a reason. Those little cheese pieces with the red wax around it.